What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab Freddy Fox, America's Big Brother, and we live with the Saturday Night Sit Down. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fab Freddy Fox, America's Big Brother, and tonight we got the artist, the one and only JChop. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed, man. I appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Thank you for reaching out, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. So I just want to ask a quick question, real quick, because I know, like, I seen you catch one of the other episodes that's going on. So what was it that about the show that you was like, damn, I want to get on there and have a conversation?
Fab, I just like how you reach different topics. I feel like nowadays, like a lot of people that be doing interviews, they be be talking about bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like they be talking about things that really don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, but before that, like I feel like we all got bigger purpose, and I just, we could talk about the music, we talk about all that, but at the end of the day, like, let's talk about society, let's talk about what's really going on. So when I see when I see your past interviews and you talking with other people, it's like, damn, like y'all going on deeper subjects, y'all talking about things that need to be discussed about, especially when it comes down to the men in the world right now, because right now we at a point where we can't be vulnerable. We can't speak
Yeah.
from our heart space. We can't tell people what we want to tell them because we too emotional. We gotta hold everything that we have inside, which we've been doing that since childhood. When you
Yeah, yeah.
you when you young, your mom tell you be quiet, be strong. Stop crying like a punk. Be tough. Depending on the type of dad you had, or if you was raised with a dad. So it's like as you get older, you realize like all those traumas, they just lead to, you feel me, aggression. They lead to you just holding everything in. They lead you to not being able to express yourself thoroughly, and I had to
Hmm.
learn that within my experience. So to hear someone get on here and actually talk about different things is beautiful. And that's what caught me, you feel me? Because I feel like we need that right now in today's society, especially amongst men, where we can have a community and we could talk without holding no judgment, you know what I'm saying? And talk about things that we probably can't go to our woman about. We probably can't go to
Yeah.
certain friends about. You know what I'm saying? Like but we could come to ourselves because the women have it. Why we can't?
Yeah, no, you know what, man, I appreciate you, just saying that, because that's really my whole goal with this show. I mean, I know for myself, I've gone through a lot of depression, anxiety, stress, and all that stuff because having to keep things inside. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Well, what I loved, I was reading this book. Well, listen to this audio book by Mr. Jason Wilson. It's called "Cry Like a Man," which really just opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. And one of the things is that he talked about is really men keep themselves in what's called emotional incarceration. We
mm,
always got to keep all those emotions and things locked up. And then people wonder, what when we get so aggressive or so, we lose our mind in a sense, is because it's all of those emotions that we keep stored in coming all in at once, and we
mm-hmm.
can't control it. It's like they say, you take that soda bottle, you shake it up, and it just bursts. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
real shit.
all that stuff that we've been trying to, like, people tell us, oh, you got to man up, you can't cry, you can't talk about your feelings, you soft, you got to be, but
Yeah,
we're people, we're
yeah,
human just like everybody else.
yeah.
We feel things, and it's so important that we have these conversations. That's really why I wanted to start this podcast, and the reason I asked that question is because I really want to make sure that my vision and what I'm trying to do is really getting out there and being portrayed as I imagine it. So I appreciate you for confirming that for me, man. Thank you.
No pressure, man. No pressure.
So, like we say, man, that's again the whole purpose of the show, right? I really want to talk to different men and stuff to really see the different things that we've gone through, because we've all gone through different problems and issues that we all feel that we're alone, and the reason we feel like we're alone is because we're not allowed to talk about it to nobody.
Yeah.
So, by having conversations with different men and different people, is to be able to expose all the different things that we're going through and connect with as many people as we can to let them know that they're not alone, that, we're all going through these things and we can overcome these stuff, because we're battling with these demons, but we're still able to prevail, and live up to what we want to do as far as our dreams and stuff like that. So, again, thank you for sitting down. So let's get into my first question, like I ask all the men out here for you. If you look at it, what do you think are some of the main characteristics and qualities it takes to be a good man or a good person?
I think I just think being a good person is just living and learning through your own experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't tell you what it is to be a good man because we all go through different things that shape us and the way that it shape us in. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about you going through your experience and learning that. But at the end of the day, you going through your experience and not letting your experience change you. Because once upon a time, like I went through my experience and I allowed it's all about too taking accountability. I feel like as a man, you got to learn how to
Mm.
take accountability. So
Yeah,
like, I had to learn that the hard way, like taking accountability, like you know, like I put myself in this situation. Although the situation was fucked up, although maybe I've been betrayed, although maybe I trust the wrong people, at the end of the day, when you have a gut feeling, you got a gut feeling. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I had to realize, like, I put myself in that situation. When you take accountability, it's just accepting yourself as one. So I feel like as a man, that's the hardest thing that I feel like we, as a person, not even just as a man, but as a person, like just self-acceptance. You feel me? Self-realization, allowing yourself to feel the things that you need to feel and then release it. So I think those are like the hardest thing. But respect for yourself, which gives you respect for others. You know what I'm saying? Standing on certain things. But being able to just express yourself freely and thoroughly without feeling the need to be judged. And that was something that was hard for me growing up. I wasn't raised I was raised without a father, so certain things were just hard for me to stand on because the whole time thinking I'm looking for that figure. I'm looking for that, but I had to find
Yeah,
it myself. The journey took me there to find myself. The person that I thought I was looking for the whole time was just myself. You feel me? And that's what the journey took me
that's
to.
deep.
But I had to fall. I had to fall. I had to fall. But I always got back up. So it's all about, you're going to fall, but it's about how you get back up and not letting the experience change you. It's just staying true to yourself.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good key points here, man. I think what really stands out, like you said, is accountability, right? Especially nowadays, is that everybody's so quickly to blame something to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, the music made me do it because I was listening to this, that, and the third, or watching this made me feel some sort of way, or because this person said this to me, or I didn't, always making up excuses. But at the end of the day, everybody has a choice. You always have a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's what you decide to do. You may have different things influencing you, but the choice is ultimately yours. And you have to learn to live and accept with those choices and those mistakes that you made. And you know what, good or bad, it's supposed to teach you something.
Yeah.
And you got to look at that and try to always take that as a blessing and as a lesson, because that's how, like you said, you're going to grow, you're going to develop, and you got to go through these things that are going to challenge you, and really test your will as a person,
I agree.
and
I
really
agree.
test your morals, and things like that you set up for yourself. So also on that note too, of course, having to be a good person or a good man, as we say, really comes with having strong morals and things that you believe in. So what are some of your key morals that you live by on a day-to-day basis?
Just treating people how you want to be treated. But I realize too now all the time, they always be like, good attract good and good energy attract good energy, but it don't always be like that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the good will attract the bullshit. But I realize like it does that is for people to learn about the good attract the bullshit so you can understand self-value. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Sometimes you could be such a giver when real love come your way, you don't even know how to accept it like that. And that's something I
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
learn. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know how to accept it because you so into the giving mode that you don't know how to receive. You don't know how to receive love. You're not even open to receiving love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something I feel like I had to learn. So sometimes everything that glitter ain't gold. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's just about discernment and things like that. But it's just everything that glitter ain't gold, man. But I realized that the good really attract the opposite. A lot of people always say, good energy attract good energy, and it's good, but it's all about the inside. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
No,
fake the outside and think you want to attract the good when you ain't really good inside, or you really don't even know yourself like that, or you just such in a giver mode or a giver state that you gotta be taught a little lesson. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. You gotta be taught a little lesson right now.
I think that's great how you put that out there, because I can understand what you're saying, like the good attract the bullshit, because what happens is that when you are a good person, you're caring, and you really give a lot, and people see that, those snakes come out, right? And they try
Yeah.
to manipulate you and use that to their advantage. So you have to learn. See, me, right. I'm not, I'm that type of person, right? I'm a huge giver. I love to give, help, support as much as I possibly can. And in a lot of cases, sometimes it's to my own detriment. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I'm giving way too much more than I should, and I'm leaving myself in short end. And
Yeah.
also too, like I have a hard time sometimes too, like accepting compliments or accepting because I'm so used to. On the other side is that being hurt and abused. So when people try to say nice, that it just I kind of don't pay it too much mind because I'm always like, all right, where you coming from with it? You know what I
You in
mean? Like,
defense mode.
yeah, yeah, you're definitely in defense mode. Um, but on that too, like you said, about attracting that is that those lessons are to teach you when to stop and when to learn because not everybody deserves your energy,
Mm.
right?
That's
And you
true.
got to understand that because it's when we a lot of people like that, a lot of people who give a lot, right? Or I tend to see the people who've been hurt the most because they know what it's like, right?
Mm.
They know what that pain is like on the other end, and they don't want other people to feel that way. But on the downside to that is that again they don't understand their true value at times,
Yeah.
right? So they
Yeah.
feel that everybody else deserves more than what they have or what they are because of all that pain, all that hurt that they felt in the past. So, very good way that you put that in is as far as like the good attracting the bullshit because it is true, and if you're not smart enough to catch it, then you're gonna get caught in a trap. Like DMX said, right? He said recently, which I thought was amazing, was trust people to be themselves. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like trust the thief to steal from you, trust the liar to lie. You know what I mean? And that way you don't have to worry about not trusting people or because it takes a lot of energy to be on the defense all the time.
It
You know what I
does.
mean?
It's very draining. It's very draining. It's very draining. And when you say that, I think about like going back to like not letting that change you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could change you. You know what I'm saying? You could be such a giver where you feel like someone took you for granted, and then now you become greedy and needy. And I've been in that stage where I switched. I switched. It switched me, and I became less of a giver now. Now you feel like you got to put this wall up. Now you feel like you scared to give. You know what I'm saying? And then now from because you scared to give, so all that all that frustration, all that change from the inside. So that's what you really attract. So people think like, I act like I'm smiling, I act like this, I'm finna attract that. No, it's about what you're really feeling inside.
Yes.
When you really take that facade out off the camera in front of the screen, when you really take that
Mm-hmm.
facade and you go back, are you really happy like you talking like you happy? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, you finna attract depressed, lonely, bitterness people because that's how you truly feeling
Absolutely.
inside. You feel
Yes.
me? So it's like 2020, 2021, I had to really like learn that like damn like and that shit ate me up because I was like I can't believe that I became this person. You feel me? I can't believe that this like I had levels of getting there. You know what I'm saying? Like I allowed myself to change myself to and that shit hurt because I was like that towards people that I truly love and I genuinely but
Mm-hmm.
I was just so like you said my trust my everything was just so fucked up where I was just in defense mode. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really like sit in solitude and really self-reflect about things and self-accept myself and understand that I am a man of flaws and
Mm-hmm.
we are not perfect and that's like I said I believe that's a part of being a man as well, accepting those things about yourself, accepting the flaws within
Absolutely.
yourself so you can be a better man, become a better person, not only for yourself but for the people around you, for your child. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So those things really it helped in the mode and I agree those people come in your life too because you know at the end of the day they had something that they needed from you, and believe it or not, you had something that you needed from them. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they seen something in you that they needed, and at the end of the day, you needed you needed to be taught that lesson from them, so you could be much more wiser. You could be much more. So I be trying not to judge shit now. 2022, I be trying not to judge shit. I be trying to see it for what it is and what it's bringing, but just without judgment. Because I feel like back then, 2020, 2021, 2019, like I used to hold a lot of judgment and like, oh shit, nah, man, I won't fuck with this person because of it. So I be trying to be more understanding and just, but
Right.
at the same time, still respecting myself and respecting my worth by not letting people, like you said, access to you like that, like how they used to, or just giving access to people where the access should be denied or should be very little to what it was before.
No, and like you said, a lot of good things that you brought up there, right? Number one is like you're saying how people, everybody come into your life. One thing you have to look at it, and what I started to believe is that everybody that comes into your life, they're either one of two things: a blessing or a lesson.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. So you have to take your accountability, and then it's up to you to figure out if they really are a blessing, or if there's somebody there to teach you something about life, or
Mm.
somebody that to expose you to something. So it's definitely
I
great how
like
you
that.
added on that one. I also, like you said, as you're telling your story there, one thing, I'm a man of like different stories and analogies, right?
Yeah.
And one of them that kind of stuck out to me as you were talking there was the man and the snake, right? So a man is walking through and he sees a snake in a fire. So he reaches in to grab the snake to try to free it, but the snake turns around and bites him, right? And he pulls back for a second, but then again he goes in to try to help the snake again, and then again the snake turns around and bites him. So he does this for a few times until finally he's able to get the snake out of the fire and set it free, and it goes back into the bushes, right? Now somebody was in the background, approaches the man. He's like, "Yo, I was watching you for the last 5, 10 minutes trying to free that snake, and it kept biting you. Like, if it bit you, why did you keep on helping it? Why don't you just move on?" And the man looked at him and said, "Listen, it's my nature to help, and it's the snake's nature to bite. I'm not gonna let his nature affect mine."
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I like.
So it's so key
I
to
like
those
that.
things that, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, you're gonna go through things and you're gonna get hurt and stuff, but you can't allow that pain to really change or affect the good person that you are. A lot of people
Yeah.
say too, when especially like in relationships, right? Because I've been in there too. All of us guys, we get our heart broken at one point or the other. It's inevitable. You know what I mean?
It has to come.
Right. It's inevitable, right? But what happens is that I've seen that a lot of guys, and even me, I'll say I was a victim to that. Is that I started the pain at the last person held did to me, I hold it against the next person. Like, I'm just waiting. When are you gonna do this? And when are you gonna hurt me? When are you gonna cheat on me? When are you gonna backstab me? When are you gonna use me for my money? Right? Because
Yeah.
you're not you're letting that situation from before change who you are and how you are to this person, and you can't do that. So I started to learn that I have to, enter into new relationships. You got to give them that opportunity. It's a new person, different experience, and you can't paint everybody with the same brush. So it's
I
so
agree.
key to, like you said, that you have to, again, just take to her and learn from it. Don't let it change who you are as a person, or what you are, because then that person won. They defeated you. They
Yeah.
took something
Yeah.
from you. You know?
Tyson has said that too. There's a little
Yeah.
thing he had, and he was like, the person was like, "No, man, I had to change." He was like, "No," and you let the devil win. You know what I'm saying? You let that person win, and that energy it holds. You know what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
holds, and like you say, you start taking on people you just made. Start taking on people who don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't experience that with you, but you still
Right.
hold on to that.
Right. No,
That
and if you don't mind sharing, because I know you were saying there, and I want to, get into those things. So, what do you think was, well, for one thing, let me start off with this. Like, I know you said you didn't grow up without you grew up without your father. Right now, was he just walked out in your life? You never knew him, or what was that relationship, or whole situation like?
um. Nah, it was never that, never like a deadbeat thing. You know what I'm saying? I had those memories when I was young and he was there and we went out and different things. But I feel like, even now, like, I have my son and I look at him, right? And I see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of versions of myself. Sometimes you can see so much of a clear version of yourself that if you haven't healed that part of you, it's almost like you denying that part. You know what I'm saying? And so I was, as a kid, I was very not bad. Went to college. Got my degree. Went to school. Good. I'm a good kid. I believe I'm a good kid. you know
Right.
what
Right.
I'm saying? But it's just, I like, I liked it what I like. And I don't think, that's where we bumped heads. But it was just times where, it was just absent. It became absent. And, I understand people go through different things and stuff, but my thing was just like, as a man, you just don't go absent in a child's life. So
Right.
that was
Right.
something that was very hard for me growing up and, dealing that and feeling that. Because it always brought that wonder, like, why? Like, what did
Mm-hmm.
I do to deserve that? You know, me having a child when I had my child was just like something that I feel like I would never do. But you know, me as an adult now, I can look back and be like, you know what, I can forgive that
Right.
because you know maybe how you was raised, you feel like that was the right thing to do. You know, but me now, I know that you don't do that because I have my child, and that's something I feel like I would never do. So it was a lesson within that, and that's something I've healed. It took a while for me to heal, but I healed from that because I forgave I forgave myself for feeling that way, which made me allow myself to forgive him and understand it from both parts. So I
Right.
just recently, speaking about that, I just recently had, went over there, had a little discussion with him, and you know, actually let him know how he made me feel now, because that's something we never did. Like I came back and tried to like work something out and build a structure, but I felt like I was trying to move too fast in building a relationship when there was no understanding to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back now and made him, not to bring up the past, but I got to get it all. I got to get this off my chest because
Absolutely.
even if we continue and we have this big bond, I'm gonna always want to wonder why. And it's not the closure
Yeah.
that I want. I just need you to understand how you made me feel. You know what I'm saying? Growing up made me feel as a man still. Grown man, I'm still feeling some type of way that people probably be like, man, that's old. But it's like, to me, it's a whole sentimental to me. You know what I'm saying? Because, he,
Right.
like I said, he was
Right.
not no deadbeat. I'm not going to say he was a deadbeat. He was there in my life. But after a certain grade, it just became less and less and less. So, and that was just something that I just felt like growing up and becoming my own identity that always, like, I didn't know how much it can affect me, but like when I look back and I be like, damn, like, children need their fathers in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
real. They need their fathers in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, I was still lonely. I was still lonely. I still was searching for something. I'm still looking for love when the love that I'm looking for just is within my own self as a man. You know, and it took me 31 years to realize that, man. Like, real shit.
No, and that's deep, and it's huge because as every generation is different, right? Because the world around us changes, and we look at our parents, um, and they don't really. As for my dad, right?
Yeah.
I seen my dad cry once.
Mm.
Really, I seen him cry like once.
I see my dad cry
Um,
times when I had that talk with him. That's crazy.
you know, and it was because and here's the real thing about it because my dad my dad's dad had passed away and my mom's passed away, right? My grandmother, my grandfather on each side passed away, right? So I was going through and I wanted to do like a really nice gift for them, because I knew how those parents meant to them. I knew what my dad meant to my grandfather meant to my dad, and I knew what my grandmother meant to my mom. So I
Okay.
went and I got this really nice oil painting done of both of them in one picture, right? And I got it done. I gave it to them. My uncle chipped in with him. One of my best friends, Mikey, chipped in on it because it was like $500 man. But they helped me put the money together to get it done for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I presented it to my dad, and the instant he looked at it and he seen his pops, tears just started flooding from his eyes, and
Mm.
he turned around and left, walked out of the room. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Because he didn't want to see me. He didn't want to see him emotional or anything like that. Um, which it goes and see like how important our dads are to us.
Yeah.
And those men are in our lives. That was one of the first time that I really, and only time I've really seen him cry like that with
Mm.
that much emotion. And it was because of a picture of his dad.
Mm.
So it was really, and as you said, that just made it click to me on that note too, is how much they mean to us and how close they were. And it's true, moms are wonderful, and I know there's a lot of single moms out there who do their best to be a mommy and daddy,
Can't.
but in all honesty, man, there's something that you need from your dad that you can't get from anybody else,
And that's
you
what
know.
I think they feel to understand that, like, you can't fill that void because you
Right,
trying to be this tough, and it's not even about that. And it's just like the same thing with a woman. A man can't give that type of love and nurture that a woman can give to her son or to that child. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It's like we can't be both.
Hmm.
Like you cannot do that. So like, and my mom was like really my mom. My mom was like my mom, like the mom and the dad. Honestly, growing up, but she was rough. I'm not gonna lie, she was rough with me. Growing up, I never heard "I love you," and it was not her fault. I just felt like she had to be that way. So I feel like that
Right.
me as an adult, I was like, love when people, I didn't know how to distinguish a love bomb. I didn't know how to distinguish certain things because that's what you want to hear. I didn't realize like how much, you know, it's not that I seek validation, but the validation was good for me because I never had that from a man properly. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it'd be like the littlest shit that you look at and be like, damn, this is what shaped me. This is what kind of made me
Absolutely.
without knowing it. But
Absolutely.
it's like I agree. Like women be trying to think they could play this both roles, but you can't. You can't be this man to this boy that you think you can. And the same thing with a man. You can't give your son that type of nurture. It don't matter how much you love him, and that nurture that he gets from a woman, that love that he gets from a woman, that unconditional feeling, can't get that from a man. So it's like it's a balance. It's really a balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is a huge balance. And just with your relationship with your dad, and how everything played out, what do you think is something that you learned from that relationship, that you learned from him?
I think I learned to. I think I learned about pride. Like when last year I went back to him and we had a good like 6 months, like and then it just didn't feel right. I still felt the way I felt, and I ain't gonna lie, like it made me back off, and I couldn't speak to him the way I wanted to speak to him. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to speak to him. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take the time and take that time that I needed to, because I felt like I was never gonna do it. He's a prideful man. I'm a prideful person. When I look at him, I see myself, so I can understand why we bumped heads the way we do. But I'm really just a reflection of him. Really, he has 2 kids, and I'm really like everything is kind of like we like this. So it's really understanding. You know what I'm saying? But I learned about pride, and I learned how sometimes you got to just tuck that shit in. You know, because if I never went out to him, he'll never reach out to me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
prideful. So like even with my son, like I don't mind crying in front of him. I don't mind being vulnerable in front of him. I don't mind telling him I'm sorry. I don't mind letting him know that, yo, I messed
Yes.
up. I like, yo, daddy, sorry, man. Like, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind admitting my wrongs with him. And I think that opens the relationship that we have. You know, I realized that I'm a little firm. And there was times where I caught myself like, people, and I believe that, like sometimes the way you the way you raise your child was the way you was raised. So sometimes I catch myself doing things that my dad would do, and I would catch myself though, and I'd be like, nah, I want him to have free will. If you want to grow your hair, okay, cool. You want to do this? Show me the things, because there were certain things that I wanted to do, and I made good grades, and my mom allowed it, but my dad didn't want to because he just didn't want to. So I try to give my son free will, the things that I didn't have. I let him speak from his point of view rather than cut him off and like, I'm right, I'm right, I'm right, because I'm the father
Hmm.
grown up. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just the way, I'm Haitian. So it's just the way that they was raised. So I understand, but does it make it right? No. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I
Right.
understand that you only knew what you were taught and how you was taught. So I can understand that. But like going forward, like he taught me just how to tuck in my pride and, accept being wrong, and to listen and to listen and to never, ever, ever, ever abandon your child. Never. Like I don't care what my son do, I can never see me going days and months and years without speaking to him. Never. Never, man, never. And that shit, that's some shit I'll never do. Never. And I don't
And
respect who can't be in a child life.
no, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that note because it, number one, they ain't asked to be here, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
None of our kids ain't asked to be here. We brought them into this world. So we're gonna bring them in here and then abandon them. That's some cool stuff. Like, how do you not take care of them or really make sure or prepare them for what life is gonna hit them with? Because we've been through it already. We've gone through life, and it's something that I've seen too. And I'm glad you realize that too as you gotten older. Because as I gotten older too, I realized the same thing is that, especially with my kids too, nobody knows what it is to parent. Like, no, there's no guide, no map, no, you can't Google. There's nothing to tell you how to raise the perfect child, because that doesn't exist. Because every child is different.
Exactly.
Everything is unique. So everything is not going to work the same way. So you have to constantly learn to evolve and grow and adapt. And like you were saying that before too, about being alone and really looking at yourself and admitting your faults. It's important that you know what your faults are, where you're weak at, your areas of opportunity, because then you know what to work on and how to change and develop. And that's the only way you're gonna grow. If you don't understand where you lack, you can't do better, and you're not gonna be able to do better for your kids.
Going in cycles, going in circles.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad to see so many, especially guys and men around my age too, like we seen that we're trying to break this cycle and understanding the damage that it's done to us. And again, wholeheartedly, why I'm doing these conversations and speaking out, because we need to have these conversations. We need to be out there and speak these things, because we need to understand how we're going to do better and how we're going to break the cycle. Now, you said with your son, you only have one. You said,
Yeah, I have one.
and how old is he, man?
He's 11.
He's 11.
Yeah.
So as he's growing up, man, and everything that you've been through, what do you think is something that you're making it your mission to instill in him, to teach him that he holds near and dear?
I just want him to understand to be his own identity. Like, it's funny because I'm still, I'm still learning him. And like, because a lot of things that I realize that we do, like I know, Caribbeans, they do that a lot. It's just, they be trying to compare children. They compare this person and that person. And just,
Yeah,
you got to understand. You got, where you from? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm from Puerto Rico.
You from
My
Puerto
parents
Rico?
are Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy because again, like if you see my dad, you wouldn't think about it. But my dad is like white with green eyes, biological pops. My mom is dark. But that was one thing, and I told her that thing growing up, and I always hated that. Oh, but your cousin doing this. I hated being compared to other people. I told her, I'm not them.
Yeah.
They're not me. We're not going through the same thing. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't. Nobody compare themselves to anybody else, because we're all unique individuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's timeline is different. Everybody's dreams and goals is different. Everybody's aspirations is different. So it's like the saying is, man, comparing apples to oranges. Yeah, you just can't do it.
Yeah, real shit. And that's I never did that because I understand how it feels, but I just want him to like not compare himself to other people. Understand that he's his own identity, and to just to know that he can be whatever he truly wants to be. My biggest thing right now is building his confidence. For some reason I see, I coach little kids before, and I see a lot of these kids like their confidence just ain't there. Because they on this screen, they looking at YouTube and they seeing people do all these things, and it's not reality. They forget that it's hard work. They forget that it takes dedication. They forget that it takes discipline. They forget that it takes these certain things. Like I can say earlier on, like my son was maybe third, fourth, fifth grade. Like I was soft. That's my only boy. That's my only child, and I wanted to go to the talking, just talking. I realized like these kids now, you can talk. Some of them gonna get it, but at the end of the day, the Bible lets you know like sometimes you got to put the feet down. You gotta put some discipline behind it, because if you don't discipline them now, the world gonna discipline them, and when the world discipline them, they ain't gonna have no type of conscience and type of love that you
No
got.
mercy.
No mercy. So fourth, fifth grade, he was putting up grades, and I'm like, like this ain't you. And then I realized like how low his confidence was. I realized how he just didn't believe in himself like that. And I always tell him like, man, like I seen this guy do a backflip, learn how to do a backflip by himself, like self-taught. And I'm like, and I always remind him, like, you taught yourself how to do a backflip. I don't know how to do a backflip, but you said that I was going to do a backflip. Dad, watch me, I'm going to learn how to do it. And you learned and you did it. Like, you can do anything. So he's in the sixth grade now, and I made it my mission, like, no, I'm not going to allow you to settle and settle for less than what you are. And it's been different, because I had to be a little bit more firmer with him, and he had to see a little bit firmer side of me, which he understands. One thing I do with him is if I do discipline him, I always give him a hug at the end. I always let him understand why everything I'm saying and why.
Yeah.
I don't let him just go on confused like, oh, my dad just gonna beat me because he just gonna beat me. Because back then I used to get just my ass whooped without understanding sometimes. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
I said so. That's what it was.
Or just
Because I
without
said
love.
so.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand, like, it be the littlest shit, you know. And I think that's why our relationship and our bond is the way it is right now, because I'm always understanding. I know sometimes he may roll his eyes like, oh, there go dad, he gonna talk like an old man. But at the end of the day, I know when you get older, and I know that even now that, damn, I love him. You know what I'm saying? Because he shows me, does things to me. He shows me. You know what I'm saying? He shows me without letting me know that he appreciates it. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
beautiful.
that's my main thing right now. Is just building his confidence and letting him know to be his own identity. Because right now these kids could get lost within this world of technology and just think that there's somebody that they try to be somebody that they don't have to be, because you have a great household, you have good parents, you got good people around you, but this technology is influencing the world. You know what I'm saying? It's not like how it was back then. If you didn't grow up in this type of area, you won't be a product of your environment. But now kids are becoming things that and people that they shouldn't be, or that they don't even know, or they're not even raised around, based off this device. Because this device is telling them to do so. These people they watching is telling them to do so. So they just finna do it when they ain't even raised like that. They ain't even built like that. So I'm just wanting him to know, like, be your own identity. And I have to learn to let him be his own identity. He can't be who I am or who I was when I was growing up. I was an extrovert. I was very extroverted. Now I'm kind of introverted. If I don't really fuck with you like that, if I don't feel like the vibe is right, you're not gonna know who I am. But he's very introverted, and I had to learn that about him, because I'm like, like, come on, man, like, he's extroverted when he's around people, when he's comfortable, but like
Right, right.
he's just a shy introvert, and it was weird because I was not like that. I was very outspoken. I was very funny. So I had to learn. I'm learning him, and it's just now, like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in the sixth grade. I'm seeing him build his identity, and he just, I understand that he's just an introvert, and I allow him to be who he is. And I think that was the biggest thing for me that I had to learn from my experience. Let him be who he is, without trying to, like, nah, I can't force that upon him. He's gonna learn how to do that. I gotta allow him to fail sometimes. I gotta allow him.
Yeah, no, it's funny how you say that too, because I got two kids. My daughter's 6,
Okay.
and my son's about to turn 3, and they couldn't be more opposite, man. Like, my daughter is really like me when I was a kid, and how I am now. I'm a huge people person. Like, I love people. That's why I do this show. I love talking to people, engaging. I'll spark a conversation with anybody, anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And my daughter's like that too. She's very outgoing. She'll talk to anybody, very loving, caring. Like, she'll run up to people randomly and start talking to them, be like, hey, you know what? You're invited to my birthday. You know what I mean? Like, just people that she just met. She has that personality. My son, and I think, like, it's just more of like that, the whole situation with COVID and things like that. I haven't been able to get him out and expose him as much as I do with my daughter. So
Mm-hmm.
we were it's just me and him. So my son really don't mess with nobody but me. Yeah, I mean, like, even like I go to my mom's house or anybody like that, like, he doesn't want, it's me and my dad, me and my dad. That's it. Like, you don't mess with nobody else. Even with my wife, like, my wife will be sitting here and she'll be telling him, like, oh, I love you, and doing all these little faces with him, and he'll turn around and give me a hug. Like, she said, but I'm the one, like, giving you love and affection. You know what I mean? Like,
I
but
don't want you.
so in that case too, like you said, you have to be a chameleon with your kids and learn to adapt and try to tailor, because what's
Yeah,
going to work for my daughter is not going to work for my son, and vice versa.
exactly. Exactly.
So,
That's
but
why.
at the same time too, you want to encourage them and be who they are. Like with my daughter, she's growing up, like, she likes to watch different things and expose her, like, the different languages. Like, it took my daughter a while to start speaking, because she wants to see things in French, German, Italian, Chinese, things like that. And I just exposed her to all these different languages, just because, if whatever she wants to get into, different music styles, whatever, within reason. And it's important that, we now, more than ever, like before in the past, they said our parents raising us and stuff, they could have been a little bit more hands off, because we didn't have, like you said, access to all this technology.
Yeah,
Now, they're exposed to so many things. You got to monitor them constantly.
I have
And I
to.
got to catch them when you see something, like, okay, and when you see it, like, okay, this is what's going on. Let me tell you what's happening here. Don't let anybody else educate your kids.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because you got no control over what's going to do, and you're not going to know what's going to happen to them when they get out in the real world. At least I know what I'm letting inside her mind, or what I'm fueling her with, and trying to let her grow with.
Yeah. most definitely.
And I know you were saying it's like towards the beginning and stuff, and it got me a little bit curious. Like you said, back in I guess 2019 and 2020, what happened to you in your life that caused you to change it? That was really a development moment for you during that time.
Uh, like I said, I'm a people's person. I like to go around, I like to talk, but I just had to learn. Like it taught me to always go with my gut. You know what I'm saying? And I think all of that happened to bring me closer to family. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like me growing up, I grew up, and after high school, like I said, I went straight to college, and I left. I left at 18. I went to Orlando, and that gave that brought a lot of change in me too, because Orlando was different at that time. It was very diverse. Me being from Miami, I'm going to Orlando, white people, Asian people, Spanish people. So it taught me how to come out my shell. Excuse me, taught me how to come out my shell and converse, and be me. Be me in my true identity form. And when I came back in 2015, I came back for the purpose of pursuing my music and, you know, just being home. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I always felt like I had to do things alone. Because I left alone. Like I said, everything I did was always by myself. I had to become my own man. At an early age, and I had always had help. But at the end of the day, like I just went out there. I didn't have no guidance. So I had to fall. I had to go through a lot of shit. So I just felt like 2015, from 2015 to 2020, just it showed me a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It showed me a lot of, sometimes the smiling faces that be smiling in front of you don't really be smiling faces. You know what I'm saying? It just, they be smiling, but, they really feel some type of way about you, or the light that you're presenting. You know what I'm saying? They really want to be like you, but they're going to smile in front of you and make it seem like they fuck with you. It taught me to just be more discerning about who you got around you and what you keep. You feel me? Still always allow yourself to present and show, but when you feel some type of way, when the vibe is off, when you felt it the first time, don't keep second guessing and questioning, because you are hoping for a better result, or you are hoping for something greater. You know what I'm saying? But it just taught me how to not be in everybody's face, be all some friendly shit. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes business just need to be business, and sometimes you can keep it that way. But it just taught me how to just be a man, grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thankful for that experience, though. I'm thankful for the people I've met. I'm thankful for everything that I went through, though, because I feel like it shaped me right now, who I am, and shaped me for the next chapter of my life. You know what I'm saying? The next chapter. So it was just a learning experience that I feel like I had to learn within myself, and how not to always give myself out so much, to understand my self value, my self worth. Because like I said, like you said in the beginning, like when you be a giver, you don't a giver like that don't understand their worth. And when
Yeah.
people can see and know that you don't understand your worth, and when those people can spot that on you, they're gonna use you to their advantage. You know what I'm saying? So it taught me that. It taught me that, and to know, like, really sometimes family is all you got. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you fight with family. It's tough love. You may not always agree with each other, but at the end of the day, like, family is unconditional. Depending
It
on
could always be real.
they always be real, depending on your family situation, because everybody's family situation is different. But like I feel like, like having my son really taught me unconditional love, because I had my son when I was 20, and we grew with each other. And I know he showed me. He was the first to show me unconditional love. Besides your mom, your mom gonna love you
Mm-hmm.
unconditionally, but he showed me like unconditional love, because I know he saw me grow and elevate as a person. Because I will always, to me, I feel like I always wasn't the best father. I was always in his life, but the way of teaching, the methods that I had maybe when he was younger, wasn't the best. But I only knew what I knew at the time. But I'll have friends that I look at what they do, and I had to learn and accept, like, yo, like, this is not good. What you're doing is not right. And I had to accept that within myself, and it hurt it. But he's, like I said, I always been vulnerable with him. I always let him see me cry. I always let him do those things. So this year, I feel like at the age of 31 and 30, like, I finally know what unconditional love is. But unconditional love starts with yourself first. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can love yourself unconditionally, then I feel like you will attract that same type of vibration. Once you love self and once you understand your self-worth, you attract those same vibrations, and you just see things differently now. Like when you really love yourself wholly, you know what I'm saying, from the flaws and your insecurities, and you accept yourself, like you just see the world different. You see people different. You know what I'm saying? Like when you stop lusting after women and you really master your sexual energy and just master your emotions, you see women differently. You know what I'm saying? Everything
Yes.
be seen from a different lens, man. I can't explain it, but like I said, everything that I went through from those experiences, like I'm thankful for. I'm thankful. And I learned now that even though I'm thankful, I'm grateful for those people, I'm grateful for everything that I went through. You don't, just because you forgave that part of yourself and just because you understand doesn't mean you go back and you accept certain things and certain people, or you allow people to come back in your space because you forgave that past. And you like, no, you know what I'm saying? You still keep your value high. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, betrayal is betrayal, fake is fake. You know what I'm saying? People change,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like I said this. There's people who gonna see you go to the lake of fire, and they gonna let you go to the lake of fire because they know if they warned you about that lake of fire, you still was gonna go anyway because you just got a hard head. But they're gonna be there to tend your bruises. They're gonna be there to make sure you okay because they know that shit gonna burn. But as people who gonna see you go to the lake of fire and let you go in the lake of fire and laugh at you when you get out, laugh at you burning. You know what I'm saying? And not gonna help you with your bruise because
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to see you get bruised. They wanted to see you come out. They want to see you if you're gonna come out and tend to your own wounds. So you just got those two different people. The first one is just really tough love, and the second one just really be those. That's how those people are. So you just got to know, differentiate the two, and just keep it moving. But you got to always be thankful and grateful for everything, man.
Yeah, no, you always got to be thankful and grateful for all the life that's got to teach you. It's always going to help you grow. And I know you said that too. I'm a firm believer in this, right? We're not gonna be perfect parents, right?
We're not gonna
We're
be
gonna
perfect,
make
but
mistakes. We're not gonna be perfect parents,
yeah,
and we're gonna make mistakes. And I know the so important thing is like you said with your son. What I mean, like, yeah, you didn't do all the right choices, but you were constantly there, trying and learning, and that's what they're gonna remember and see. He was always here. He was
yeah,
always here, no matter what, by my side, and that's where we developed that connection. Because I've seen that a lot of too with a lot of guys that I've interviewed whose dads weren't present in their lives or who didn't have them around for any reason or the other. They lack that, and they always do their best to overcompensate with their own kids because they know what it's like. They know what that pain is, and they know that just being there is more than enough. You don't gotta buy them all the fancy things. You don't gotta give them the world and the civic play, but you gotta be present and
yeah,
supportive and just understand them and take the time to learn them. Because again, we're gonna make mistakes, and I think it's important too. Because I'm a firm believer in that too. If I make a mistake with my daughter or my kids, I apologize. You know what? Hey, you know what? Daddy was just trying to do this or whatever, and I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. And my daughter's 6, and she's like, you know what, Daddy, you don't got to apologize. Sometimes she'll say that, you don't got to apologize. I know you didn't do that. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good because we having that conversation, that open dialogue that I never got as a kid. I never had that with my parents.
mm,
So I'm so glad that I'm able to do that with her. And also continue to do that with my son because I see how important it is in that free will, like you're saying, being able to be their own person, being an understanding and stuff. And also too that they know that we're gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're not trying to hurt them. And that we are vulnerable, but we're trying and we're here
right,
and we're learning and we're developing and they can constantly see that we are growing, we're changing, we're adapting and trying to make these changes so that if mommy and daddy could do it, I could do it too, and I should be able to do that. You know.
true enough.
And I know you briefly talk about that because I do want to get on that note because I know what your music and stuff because I've been listening to vegetarian, you know what I mean. So I've been feeling that one as well. Um, well, with your music, man, what got you involved in music? How did you follow that path?
Um, the everybody got their little top three. There's one person that will always be in like in my top five, and I know everybody's gonna be like, "What the hell?" But Nelly will always be in my top five because when I first watched Country Grammar, it just captivated me because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Damn!" Like this man had his whole city behind him. Allegedly
Mm-hmm.
how it looked at that time. It just made me like, and that was the first cassette because at the time it was cassettes. That was the first cassette that I brought, and that was the first artist that I supported. And my cousin, Clear House Studio, who's like, you know, CEO of Clear House Studio, my two cousins, but one of them, they clearhousestudio.com, go ahead, check it out, you know what I'm saying, go fuck with us. But he had a poem book, and I was young, I was like in the 5th grade, and I went through the poem book, and it was dark. It was very dark and gritty, and it was just like, I remember though reading it and just like, damn, like, it shocked me, because I'm like, you can actually put emotions like this inside of a book. You know, it's very dark, but to see, to feel the pain through the book, it made me feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? And you know, 5th grade, you know, I would never forget that experience in that moment. And then 6th grade, I started making beats. I started making beats first off Fruity Loops. I had a little program. Yeah, Fruity, man.
Well, yeah.
Oh, like Fruity Loop 6, man. It's 5. Like, I'm talking about 2000, literally 2000, year 2000. I was making beats. I started with, you know what I'm saying? I started with that. And I took that and I transformed and I put it into the computer. And from there, I learned, I fell in love with making beats. But from making beats, I learned how to structure and hook. I learned what 8 bars was. I learned, and that's what made me fall in love with rapping. You know what I'm saying? I fall in love with making music from that time. I really wanted to be a singer though, but it was hard for me to make love songs. Like, it was like to stretch out the words and the cadence. I was like, nah. So I just started rapping in 6th grade. You know, I developed that character. You know, Chop was born, JChop. Everybody knew me as a freestyler, and from North Miami Middle. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. And that's just what it was. And JChop just carried on from there. Real shit.
That man, because you know what I love about what I loved about hip hop and music and stuff. You know, I grew up like Tupac, Eminem, you know, Big L, those guys, because there was so much passion, you know, and emotion in these songs that you felt it. It really was coming from a place. It wasn't like now that I guess I'm like, oh, but I can't really be listening to the radio like that because it's all about, you know, fucking bitches, doing drugs, drinking lean. Like, there's no purpose, there's no emotion, there's nothing, there's no feeling there anymore. You know, it's gotten really extremely commercial, and I miss that poetry, that art, the storytelling, the connecting, the sharing your feelings, like, you know, the hurt, the pain, like,
Yeah.
you know, so many times you could listen, like one of the songs now, like Tupac, man, Thug's Mansion. I can't play Thug's Mansion and not cry. There's no way I can't do that because I feel the pain. You know what I mean? I thought about suicide myself, you know, being so down and not feeling love and feeling, you know, felt all that pain. But that I cannot listen to that song and not cry. You know what I mean? And that's what, you know, we need to. What I like about listening to your songs and stuff like that is it's going back. You know, it's music with feeling, with purpose. You know, it's not just trying to sell records or, you know what I mean, like flaunt all the stuff. Like there's a message behind it, which is so important. So,
Always.
you know, definitely continue what you're doing. You know, I love what you're doing.
I,
You know, what would you, how would you characterize your sound? What would you label your sound at?
um, I just think I'm me. You know, there's a lot of artists though that I took from. You know, I like the way Future does his hooks. I think he's a hook genius. You know, Rich Homie, he really actually introduced me into melodizing because I always wanted to do that. You know, like I said, I started off singing, so I always wanted to put singing into my verse, but at the time it wasn't really popular. Then when Rich Homie came, he like made it. He trendsetted that shit. So I was like, damn, okay. It made me feel more comfortable now to become my own self. You know, T.I. was always one of my favorite artists. I liked how real and authentic
Love
he was
Ti.
and how he storytelled his music. And that's where I get kind of like my music. My music is, you know, very storytelled. But you know, I took a lot of things from Tupac. You know, what I love from Tupac was just how not only from a music standpoint of view, but what he tried to do to uplift the people. So I take all those things from those people and I make it to my own gumbo, and I just feel like I'm me at the end of the day, you know. Like I'm more than just a musician, you know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Clear House Studio and I'm one of 7 artists that's in there, it's more than just music with us. You know, we have a woman empowerment movement that's going on. We have a full website. You know, everybody whatever you want, we got. You want the spiritual conscious, you want the love topic subject, you know, you can listen to Chop. You want the love music, you can listen to Gasso and Screw. You know what I'm saying? You want to get on your savage, your hood vibes, gangster vibes, and on some, you know, not only just gangster vibes, but vibes that's gonna make you learn about the hood and how to get yourself out of there, you know, motivate you to get some people. You got the Vachi. You wanna, you know, fitness, you wanna listen to Big P. You know what I'm saying? Like you need some beats, make you deaf. You need your thing engineer, we got Screw Dollars. You know what I'm saying? You need management, we got Netta Beats. So it's just like with us, it's bigger than just music. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just music, and I think that's something different that we're bringing into this game that I think a lot of people are not seeing right now, but they will see, you know, within a year from now, because we want to hit different things with just music, because it's not just music. You know, the world needs help. The world needs guidance. There's no pioneers right now guiding these kids. That's why they lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got men putting on wigs, you got men painting their nails, and to each his own if you want to do that. But when I was growing up, we ain't do that, man. We ain't steering these kids wrong just for likes and comments and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they got these kids thinking that and if that's you, that's you at the end of the day. But there's a lot of people that are doing it for the wrong reasons, and they're leading these kids wrong into destruction, and we don't stand for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we don't stand for that. We are a bunch of individuals. We are a bunch of grown men that have been doing this for 10, 15 plus years. This is life to us. And when we come in the game, we're not coming in the game just to sell records. We come in the game to illustrate and make you understand what music is, and like you said, where it comes from, the passion, the soul, the artistry. You know what I'm saying? And we don't just do it with words. We put the illustration in the music videos. You know, you log on, I am JChop U63, Devachi's EMS, Clear House Studio LLC, and you watch these videos on YouTube. It's illustration within it. You know what I'm saying? And there's morals, there's principles, there's guidance within the music. So that's just what I just think that's going forward. That's what I'm trying to bring in, and that's what we bring in as well, because it ain't like that no more, man. You know, the music industry is trash. You know, there's a couple artists I like because I like what they do outside of music. Everything is just music now. Like, what you doing outside of music? When you get on these interviews, are you telling the people the truth, or are you gonna just try to sell records on that bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like how we come on here and we talking about some other shit, because the record's gonna sell. That's on me to do that. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm on here, I'm gonna let people know, man, be yourself. Don't even follow me. You can be inspired by me, you can be motivated by me, but don't be like me. I don't want you to be like me. Be like yourself. Because every time that I try to be somebody that I wasn't and try to please somebody else and to do the things that they expect me or want me to be, I lost myself. I lost myself.
Yes. Yeah.
I lost myself. When I became the best version of myself and doing the things that I want to do and talk about the things that I want to talk about, it feels good to the soul. You know what I'm saying? Because I could talk about some high conscious shit, and I could go back and talk about we could talk about shaking ass, because I came from all of that. I can't throw away that past of me. It maybe no longer serves me the way it used to serve me, but it's not like I can't go back and talk about it. It's not like I can't go back and act like I never lived that before, because I came from that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's wrong with people now. We elevate, we grow, but then they get to a point where they feel like they can't talk about certain things, or they can't do certain things, and they can't be around certain things. It's just like, you ain't too good.
But they gotta protect an image or something like that.
You gotta protect the image. You ain't too good. You know what I'm saying? You ain't too good, man. I don't need your validation. I don't need you to be like, oh man, Chop, man, you ain't. Nah, this is Chop. This is all of
Yeah.
me. You feel me? This is all of me. I accept myself wholly, and this is me being the best and fullest version of myself. So that's just it going forward, man. That's
Well,
what.
no, definitely, man. I would actually love to sit down and talk with the rest of your gang over there. What is it? ClearhouseStudios.com. They could listen
Mhm.
to everything at there.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what? We'll be in touch, man. Cause I mean, like, yeah, I'm from what you're saying, man. I definitely want to see what their vibe is like and see what they got to offer and really having a conversation to get deep. You know, I got another show too, that I do on Fridays. It's called Fab with Fab, where it's about facing fears and build bonds. You know, so we could talk about different things,
What?
face fears and build bonds.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that we're not alone. We could find the people to latch on to that help us overcome our fears, things that we've been there. So, I think you guys would be a great group of guys to have on that show. So, definitely want to talk to you. Maybe we can link that up for another time. But as we winding down here, man, I got two last questions for you, right? So number one, from your past and everything, what do you think has been the best advice you've ever received for somebody?
Uh, be yourself. Be yourself. Like I said, every time I tried to be, and like I said, I elevated, so I'm trying to be this person only. And it's like, no, you're funny. You know what I'm saying? You're funny. Be relatable. Be you. You know what I'm saying? You get to this point where it's just like, because like I said, we could talk about some high conscious shit. We could talk about some shit that only people who's really woke will understand. We could do that. We could take it to that level where people are like, what are they talking about? But then at the end of the day, it's all about being relatable. You know what I'm saying? I understand that this world right now just revolves about being relatable. This world revolves around being entertained. So it's like, what kind of way that I can bring entertainment and at the same time hit it there? Because Kanye couldn't just come out and be who Kanye is. That was been Kanye. People looking at him like he crazy. He been like that, but he had to come out a certain way because he understood how to break the matrix free. He understood what he needed to do to get to the higher purpose of himself. And that's what I'm learning, and that's what I've learned, through this journey. And it just really be yourself. But there's levels, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can't just be that person that you know that you're supposed to be. Sometimes you gotta dumb it down for the people. You gotta put it in a way where it's relatable, where you're not selling yourself out, you're not selling your soul, but at the end of the day, you understand how this world runs and you're using it to your advantage. And so now when you do get put on that place or that pedestal that you know you deserve to be on, now you can showcase who the hell you really are and, do the things that you felt like you needed to do and say the things that you need to say, because now you're at a point where people gonna look at you. You are somebody now. You got the attention. You know what I'm saying? So now your words hold weight. You know what I'm saying? It's more validated rather than you just come out saying like that. You sound crazy. You look weird. Why is he doing this? You know what I'm saying? So just be yourself, man. Just be yourself.
I think just recently, like you said that too about learning. You got to you got to play the game, right?
Yeah,
It's not about sounding so letter, but you got to understand how the world works
yeah,
so that you can do certain things to make a change. And
yeah.
as you were saying that, this thing just hit me is that I remember a few years ago, when the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick went down in the NFL and all that stuff, and all these things started blowing up, and then a lot of people criticized Jay Z for getting involved with the NFL, and getting it on the boards and stuff like that, like, oh, like you a sellout or you doing this and that, whatever. But look at this past Super Bowl. Look at the halftime show.
Mm,
You know what I mean? That's never happened before.
mm.
That's never in the history of the sport happened
What
before to
what
have
happened if you don't mind me asking?
well, at the halftime show, they had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J.
Oh,
Blige. It was an
okay, okay.
all black
Got you,
halftime
got
show.
you, got
You
you.
know what I'm saying? With all these artists, again, like you think about it, NWA for getting all that heat back, you know what I mean, and being able to put them on a platform to really get noticed and be able to deliver medically. Even during the damn, like Eminem took a knee during the halftime show, you know what I mean, like during his
Mm.
verse, you know what I mean, again, to bring awareness to that stuff. So it's all about like classic frame, like they say, man, this is chess, not checkers.
Yeah, it's chess, not checkers, most deaf.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Deaf.
so you gotta understand, because again, I felt some sort of way too, because but again, I was just letting too much of the outside noise kind of cloud what I was seeing. As I started dumbing it down, then I started realizing I was looking at the house. I was like, wait, this is a big part of Jay Z and getting involved with it, and now being able to slowly, he got his foot in the door. Now we can get us integrated and really start making changes and stuff like that. But if we leave it up and keep hoping for somebody else to make change, it's never gonna come.
Never gonna happen.
We gotta take action. So it's key on saying that. Now I know you've been preaching that a lot too, like you say, like be yourself and thing that you heard for you. But looking at the younger generation, apart from being yourself, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
That you don't need outside validation from no one. The only person that need to be the only person that you need acceptance from is yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? A lot of these girls right now, they going around and they messing with multiple guys and they doing certain things because they want to be loved. They want to feel loved. It was once in my life that I was just giving out my number just to women just cause I knew that I looked good and I know that she liked me. I'm just gonna give her my number. I don't do that no more because I accept myself and I hold myself to a higher value, and I feel like I'm worth more than that. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
energy. That's time. I don't got enough energy and time to play with you. So it's just like when you love yourself more, you value yourself more, and it's just like love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta need love from no one else. The only love that you need from anybody is from yourself. Because when you accept yourself and you love yourself wholly, then that's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women, they go out and, why I can't find a good man? And because you dealing with 3, 4 men right now. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with 3, 4 men. You just putting yourself out there. You ain't valuing yourself. Why would
And
a good
devaluing yourself, man,
you
because people don't
devaluing
see
yourself?
that, notice that stuff, and then you know, look, that's a key point. You said that too. Is that I was talking to me and my wife was talking and stuff, and we had Cinder on the other day, right? Um, and they was talking about like why men can sleep with a bunch of women and be think of as a player, and women do that, and they're looked at as a hoe. And one thing that it says is that men sleep with who they're allowed to sleep with.
Mm,
Women sleep who they want to sleep with.
mm, mm.
But also to the rebuttal to that is women keep asking that question is that men marry who they want to marry.
Very most
Women marry who they can marry. You know
fact.
what I'm saying? So you gotta understand how to do that and really hold values. But that's one, and I said this time and time again. One of the huge reasons is that I have that value for my wife, and what I knew my wife was special because she wasn't like everybody else and all the other women that I was messing with. You know what I mean? On our second date, we went out. She paid. Straight
Mm,
up, just like pay for the bill, and that made me start to realize that she really is here for me. And for my
mm,
time. It
mm,
wasn't about getting a free meal and all those things. And then all these little things as we were dating that I started to see, coming up to my house, taking a train if she acted her car wasn't working, like all these effort things that
mm. Your
I started to see.
reciprocation was going both ways.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I look back at some of these girls that I used to date, and I'm like, man, like, no wonder it didn't work out. Like they weren't about that life,
Mm-mm.
and so it is very, very key to that. If you want to find something, you got to be that same thing too. You got to be that for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get at to you. I'm saying that you got to set that energy, that vibrations, as we say, within yourself
Within
to be
yourself,
able to attract that towards you.
most deaf,
Because if not, you're just pushing all that stuff away.
most deaf, most deaf.
Because a lot of guys are gonna see like just like girls think right. You go to the club right, and a girl be sitting there like or shaking their ass or wearing like coochie cutter shorts and stuff like that, just leading out there, just mess with all these dudes. You think any of those dudes really take you seriously? Absolutely not.
Nah.
Absolutely not.
They be looking
You
for
know.
love just in the wrong places. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at myself and realize that within myself. Like a lot of men that go ahead and sleep with women and do all that crazy shit, they be lonely too. Men be lonely too. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They craving for love, so they craving in the wrong places. You know what I'm saying? And then end up with baby mama drama. They end up with crazy ass exes. They end up with these things that they put themselves in because they looking for love in the wrong places. So that should go both
Right.
ways. So it's just like, love yourself, man. Love yourself. I'm talking to the generation, the youth. Love yourself. Love you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? They may find it weird. It's okay. As long as you don't find it weird and as long as you doing the things that you enjoy doing, keep doing it. You're gonna attract those people who you're gonna find it
Yeah. No.
okay for those people like you.
And like we say, the gift and the curse about social media, right? Like, yeah, it puts on this facade that a lot of people are living their best life when it's not really the case.
Yeah.
However, now that we have all this access to so many people in the world, that it is so easy to find people who are like you and will like you for who you are if you just put
True.
it out there.
True. True.
You know what I mean? Like you stop caring what other people think. You just put yourself out there and just be who you want to be. People who feel the same way will come to you. They'll be able to find you easier, and you don't have to worry about again the people in your neighborhood look at you weird, but you got 10,000, 20,000 people all around the world from different places who think you cool as fuck because you just who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So you just have to understand that and really use it to the advantage. But I think the key point, like you said, is really number one, understanding yourself, understanding what works for you, loving yourself, and just living that out by the day-to-day basis, man. And you'll be able to get whatever you need that way. You know what I mean?
Most def. Most def. Let me
But
one question, man. Like, how you came out of depression though? Before we go.
whew, um, you know, a lot of things for me, and when it came to depression, is that I was in that position. I was working too much on making other people happy, and I really lost myself and who I was. and all those things. So it was a lot going into it. I had to be alone. In
Mm.
a sense of like too, like, I didn't my friends was there again, like we grow up and my boys are there for me regardless if I need to reach out to them. But it wasn't like the same course when you're in high school, you can do whatever you want. You don't got responsibilities. And now I got a wife, I got two kids, and I got other responsibilities than everybody else do. So it really was a lot of time just sitting and thinking to myself and really asking myself all these questions like, why do you feel that way? What do you want to do? And really finding myself is how I really got out of it.
Mm.
If you go back on my YouTube page, man, I think it was really about last year. When right before I started this whole podcast, where I really had an aha moment where I just felt so enlightened, and just so like, oh my God, like I can't express what this feeling is,
Yeah.
but I love it. Like, it is so crazy what I'm feeling at this moment. Like everything just kind of makes sense, but a lot of it came because I had to go through a lot of dark stuff, a lot of pain and tribulations. But I took the time to really sit down with myself and talk to myself about what I wanted, what's going on in my life, why I feel certain things, and what I could do in my power to change that. And then, being alone made it easier because I didn't have any other outside influences other than myself.
Solitude.
So that's what really helped me to get out of that and really come out of my depression.
That's real. That's that solitude.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of people need to understand it's okay to be alone. You gotta ask yourself the questions, and you need to be alone sometimes because you need to check in with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you went out. Like, did you do the things that you wanted to do, or were you influenced by others? Why were you influenced by others, and how could you avoid that from happening next time? And
Mm.
you can put a plan in place for yourself. Because if you don't do that, man, you'll just keep going down this rabbit hole with no end in sight.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, fam. I agree. I like that. I wanted to ask you that. I gotta ask him that before because you said that, and I was like, man, I gotta ask you that.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Well, again, man, it was a wonderful conversation, man. I appreciate you
Word.
taking the time to sit and talk with me. I definitely want to be in touch with you to talk to the other people from the Clear Out Studio, man. Maybe get up on another podcast and really have some deep conversations because it's definitely much needed. So, definitely keep me in contact with them, and we'll go from there, man. Excuse me.
Most def, man. Clear Out Studio, man. Crown shit, ZMF shit, FMF shit, next level shit. Always top quality, man. Appreciate you, man. Big Z's over here, man. Appreciate you, Fat, man. Appreciate you for real, and keep doing what you're doing because it's needed. I always tell you that it's needed. We need that. We need that. You know what I'm saying? And trust me when I tell you that it's gonna blow. You
Well,
next.
I feel it, man. I know it, man. I know it's gonna go nothing but the top. So thank you again. And everybody, as I always say, man, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, your big brother loves you. So stay blessed, everybody.
I am.
Peace out, bro.
Yeah.